Hello everyone, welcome back to Gardening with the Landscape Connection. My name is Michelle, I live in Northern Illinois, Zone 5. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad that you decided to join us. If you are someone that's returning, well, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about gardening in the hot afternoon sun. I am in the middle of my parking lot, so you know that this gets hot blazing sun. Why do I have an island in the middle of my parking lot? Well, I have a well here, and when we first moved in, I built this island around the well. And when we first opened, I was a landscaper, so I had a patio out here, and then I had these raised walls and a patio in that with these steps that led up and steps that led down, and it was kind of landscaped with this big flagstone stuff. Well, I retired from landscaping, and everyone kept hitting the wall and driving over the steps with their trailers. So I took it out and said, you know what, we're gonna put an island out there instead with some really tough, resistant plants that can handle the hot blazing sun, and they're gonna be drought tolerant. So we planted this about 3 years ago, and what I did was I basically took everything down and I outlined the area with these big granite boulders. I backfilled it with some dirt, and then I laid fabric, and then I put my plants in and I topped it with river rock. So here in the quarries, you can get river rock in all different sizes. This size is called B size. So it is like 1/4 inch to 3/4 inch size river rock. And so it's just this creamy color, but I wanted rock out here and not mulch, because if we get a heavy rain or if the wind's really blowing, I didn't want to be picking mulch up out of the parking lot. So we did the rock so it was more of a permanent thing out here. So even though the rock is nice, I have found with rock that I do have to water a little bit more often because the rock heats up. It doesn't hold moisture like mulch does. So I made sure that I chose things that were drought tolerant, and I'll show you some of the things that we put in the island. Did I say this is going on year 3? I don't know if I did or not, but this bed is going on year 3. Now I do supplement with annuals in this bed to give me my flower power, because I like to have that. And I do have to supplement the watering with the annuals, and they are on our weekly feeding schedule on Fridays, because we do Fertilizer Friday here, and they go around and they fertilize all of the annuals. So that does get additional water, but the rest of it, I don't really do anything to it. The first year we had to water it, and we used like an overhead sprinkler to make sure that it got watered and established. But last year and so far this year, I have done nothing as far as watering anything extra in the bed. So if you have that problem area at your house, or maybe it's not a problem area, but it's just that hot area in your house that gets blazing hot sun, maybe you're looking for some things to plant in that are going to be low maintenance and a little bit easier to take care of. Let me show you what I planted in this bed. Now I will preface this by saying that I did have 2 other things in this bed that I actually dug out because they died off and they didn't do well. For 2 years, I had the Elijah Blue Fescue in the bed, and it just ended up croaking this year. It just didn't take, I don't know. So I ended up pulling that out. And then I also had a Gamma Blondie in here that for 2 years, it did pretty good. And this year it did nothing. It didn't come back. So I dug that out as well. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a tour through the bed, and I'll show you the things that I have in there. And then I'll also talk about the items that I'm gonna put in. And then I got my trusty little safety knife so that I can cut holes in the fabric to put the annuals in. Okay, here on the corner I have 3 daylilies. And you would think that I knew the color of these daylilies, and I don't. I don't remember what color they are, and I'll find out when they bloom. I just don't remember. They're either orange or they're yellow. I don't know. But they are the taller ones. I do know that. So I have 3 daylilies here, and then over on the other side, I have 3 more daylilies on the other side. The other thing I used was a Grow Low sumac, and I love these because they can handle the urban conditions. They can handle the less than adequate amount of soil that's in here. They get a beautiful red foliage on them in the fall. They're nice and low so they don't take over the bed, and they can be pruned pretty hard if they do get bigger than I want them to. I will pre-apologize for the trucks and the motorcycles. I'm right at the intersection out here, and I try to catch the camera when I see them, but I don't always see them, and then it's too late and I caught the noise. But here we have a Calamagratis, and these are the overdams. I love these because they're cool season grasses. They have a nice pretty white stripe in the foliage. I don't know if you can see the striping in that foliage there, but these are cool season grasses, and that means that they start growing when it's cool out. They go dormant in the heat of the summer. They'll get their plumes on them like now, and then they'll grow a little bit more in the fall when it cools off. but these plumes will get like this weedy color to them. They don't get very big. They're what I call a medium, small to medium sized grass. They might get 4 to 5 feet tall and 2.5 to 3 feet wide. They're super dependable, and I don't have to worry about the centers dying out like a big grass. So I love those. I just think they're so functional in this kind of setting, and they do really well because they're drought tolerant. Next to that, I have a Gracilis, and so that is a vase-shaped grass. It's fairly large, gets about 6 feet tall by 3 feet wide. It's a warm season grass, so it just now has started to grow. All right, do you see a trend going here? We got grasses going on. They're doing really well. This is a piglet grass right here, and as you can see, I did lose a little bit right back there, but we'll see how this fills out. I think it'll end up filling in. It'll look just fine. The piglet doesn't get very big. It might get 24 to 30 inches high, and it gets these little plumes on it. And again, this is another warm season grass, so it didn't start growing until about 2 weeks ago, and it will grow through the heat of the summer. Now back here, we have 3 Korean feather reed grasses. I love these. They'll grow in part shade and they grow in sun. They get the champagne pink plumes on them, and the plumes are absolutely gorgeous. I love cutting the plumes off of these and using them in winter arrangements. And what I love about them is they'll get their plumes probably right around August. So I just love those. They don't get crazy big either, and the centers don't die out, so I don't have to worry about digging them up because the centers died out. All right, there's the 3 other daylilies there. And then as you can see, I've used some sedum throughout here as well. I honestly don't remember the color of this one, what one it is. It's either Autumn Joy or Autumn Fire. I don't remember. But I had 3 of them and 1 died, so I planted an annual back there. Then here I have an Elsie's Gold, but it looks like some of it reverted back because I have half of it that's variegated and half of it that's not. So I don't know what's going on with that. Here we have some sedum. This is the Dragon's Blood sedum here. And so that will get little fuchsia colored flowers all over it. Over here I have a lime zinger. Isn't that great? And then here's a bunch of hens and chicks with a little alien thing coming out of the middle of it that's going to bloom. Isn't that just wild? So those are Mrs. Giuseppe's. And then you can see that I'm going to be putting some annuals in. So I'm going to be using the Super Tunia Vista Bubblegum, and I'm going to put it kind of on the edges. So it's going to go there, there. I'm going to put some here, here, and here, and then kind of through over there. I'm also going to be using the Senorita Rosalita, the Cleomes, and I have some back there on either side of that Gracilis grass. And then I also have it over here. I haven't put it in the ground yet, but I'm going to have it right over there too. So that is going to get a good size. Typically they're going to get anywhere from 24 to 48 inches high. And if we're fertilizing those every single week, they're probably going to get close to that 4 feet. So those are going to fill in that area and be absolutely gorgeous. Then I'm going to be using some of the Violet Night Alyssum, and also some of the Gomphrena, the pink truffles, or what's it? Is it pink truffula is what it's called. And so those are the plants that I'm going to use in here. And what I did was I mirrored them in my pots over here. And then the last thing that's in this pot, well, it's not a pot, it's a bed. Well, the last thing in the bed, these are the Dianthus, and these are Paint the Town Fuchsia. Aren't those great? They're on the back end of being almost done, but they have been blooming for a long time. I want to say at least 6 weeks now. And then I'm also going to use the Lemon Coral Sedum. And again, I'm going to cry because this is a zone 8 and won't overwinter here on the ground. Okay, and then in my low Sedona bowl, I have the Gomphrena again, and then I'm using some of the Scaevola, the blue violet, and then some of the Alyssum. So I just did every other one with the Gomphrena in the middle, and that will all fill in. These have only been in here for maybe 10 days, not very long. But everything that's in there, except for the Scaevola, is over here. So I tried to tie them all together. Here we've got the bubble gum, and then I've got a limon wedge potato vine here, and then I've got the little blackie potato vine on this side, the Cleome in the middle, and then I just repeated it in that pot right there. And then we fertilize all of the annuals on a 7-day schedule. So every Friday we fertilize those. So we're going to go ahead and get these all in the ground. And out here, this is hot blazing afternoon sun. I mean, it gets sun from 10 in the morning until the sun goes over those trees. And so hot, hot, hot. So annuals, if you pick the right ones, they'll do really well. Now I will have to keep the annuals watered, But even if I didn't put the annuals in here and I just left everything else that's here, I wouldn't probably have to supplement water this at all because everything in here is pretty drought tolerant once I had got it all established. Okay, I'm gonna get that right down in there and then just lift it really gently so that all my pieces don't break off, and then backfill around that. And I don't need a tag in there. Okay, and then I have to break my little clumps up. All right, and then I'm just gonna push all these rocks back around it. And then I'll get everything watered in. See? Isn't that great? Okay guys, so there you have it. If you have one of them hard to plant areas, hopefully some of these things will help you so that you know what to plant. Grasses are fabulous. The dianthus did really well. The Grow Low sumac has been fabulous, and sedum. And then supplement with some flower power, use your annuals, and you'll have something spectacular. So I'm gonna get this all planted. I'm gonna get it watered in, and then, well, today is Wednesday, so it'll get on the fertilizer schedule starting on Friday. So we'll have to supplement water the annuals, but everything else will be totally fine. So I'm Michelle. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.